I hear words like details and set pieces. Those seems like pretty basic things that in a big match you'd have locked down. Is he signaling the manager here?
No, I think he's shown himself up, to be honest. What is he talking about? The reason they lost this game was because of 2 set pieces. Well, did the goals come from 2 set pieces? Yes. But if you're talking about a game of football, they got outplayed. So, and guess what? You were right in the middle of the park. You're in the engine room. You're in the place on the field that's the most important. So why don't you, above anybody else, make sure that A, you get your job done and inspire the others around you? So I don't get it that he's having a go at Ole Gunner Solskjaer. He's actually talking nonsense, in my opinion. He's probably a little frustrated. It's after the game. But in no way I dare see this as a go at Ole. This is a guy that's had a few good games and we've all said well done, giving him a pat on the back. But that's it. So the first thing he has to do is look at himself. Never mind looking around and saying we have to do this and we have to do that. How about I have to do something? That's where he should start.
Shaka, what do you make of Pogba's comments?
Let me jump in here. I don't think... Sorry, I don't think Paul Pogba is talking nonsense per se. He's absolutely right. The 2 goals came from set pieces.
Shaka, did you watch the game?
Stevie, that,
did you watch the game?
Let me get to the...
Let
me get to the point. What I was about to say, Stevie, what I was about to say is you're absolutely right in pointing out that City were the better of the 2 teams. What I think Paul Pogba is trying to say, and it's not a go at Ole Gunner Solskjaer, but it's a go at the rest of the team, the players. And this goes back to my concern around United and whether they are good enough to actually win the title. In defending set pieces, so much of it is about what you do and what you see as an individual. Whether you win your one-on-one battles, whether you get to the ball first, whether you recognize your marking assignment and stick with it. And then if you give up 2 goals from 2 set pieces, you have to look at where that went wrong individually. That for me is not at all a slight on Ole Gunner Solskjaer, but that's Paul Pogba saying to the rest of the team, these are the details that we have to be better at if we want to win semi-finals, and I'll go further and say if they want to win league titles. That's how I interpreted it.
You question if they're go ahead, Stevie.
No, I would be interested to know, because I don't expect anybody, managers or players, to be pointing the finger at individuals in the newspaper or in an interview. I would, however, like to know if Paul Pogba went into the dressing room after the game and walked up to Harry Maguire and asked him what he was doing on the first goal. Because that's what good teams do. Good teams, they hold each other responsible for making errors, particularly in big games when it matters most. So I would be interested to know if Paul Pogba has the you-know-what to turn round to somebody like Harry Maguire and say, what were you doing on the first goal? Why did you not try and clear it? Why are you just letting it go past you? So that's what they should be doing.
Speaking of responsibility, what about the stat du jour, the stat of the day that's making the rounds? Solskjaer has now lost 3 domestic semifinals, as many as Sir Alex Ferguson lost in 26 years at the head of Manchester United. Shaka, just a random stat, or does that tell us something about what Manchester United is not getting done in these big matches?
I think that just speaks to who Manchester United are. Listen, it's unfair to compare Ole's team to Sir Alex Ferguson's. Sir Alex Ferguson built that club and built a winning mentality, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still trying to do that. Whether he can in the long term, we can debate. I don't think he can in any shadow can replicate what Sir Alex Ferguson did, but I don't think that's a fair comparison. Not right now, especially after you lose to teams like City last couple of seasons who have been so good and so dominant. They have closer replicated what Sir Alex Ferguson did with Manchester United in his time.
Stevie, it's not just the domestic semifinals, though, is it? It's the Europa League semifinal last year against Sevilla. It's the Champions League knockout phase. Does Ole have a big match problem?
I don't think so. Listen, I think it's unfair to say that if you're losing to teams that are actually better than you. You know, had they been losing to underdogs consistently, then I think no question you start to question the temperament of either the team or the manager. But the truth is, all the semis they've lost, they've actually lost to better sides, in my opinion. So I think it's a little harsh to turn around and say that they have a mental blockage when it comes to semis. They've just been beaten by better sides, in my opinion.
So if it's not down to Ole, then it's down to the players. Are they not playing well enough, or are they just not good enough?
I don't think they're consistently good enough. That's the biggest problem. I think each individual that plays for Manchester United on their day can be great. I mean, you go through the whole side. I'm pulling Harry Maguire about making a mistake. You know, 12, 18 months ago, Harry Maguire was arguably the best centre-back in the country. So, at their best, they have players around the field that should be able to win big games, but they're not consistent. You know, in any given day, one of them will be great, but the rest will be okay. That doesn't get you titles and trophies. And that's kind of borne out when you look at the semi-finals they've lost.
Shaka, Stevie, thank you very much. We'll leave you with one more bit of news on Manchester United. They've signed 18-year-old Hamad Diallo from Atalanta. Solskjaer has called him one of the most exciting prospects in the game. If you want more, just head over to our website. Tor Christian Carlson has the full scouting report on United's newest player.